Welcome to today's Rowdy.com Big Three. We're finally in the chase, dude. We're finally in the chase. It feels like 2007.
All over. It's deja vu all over again.
Thank you, Yogi. I'm Bassmasters. He's Buzz Cutler. We're talking NASCAR as we do every single day here at Rowdy.com. And we have to talk, I think, Cutler. Well, you've got the issues, but come on, Clint Boyer doing it again.
So many issues. Let's hear what Clint has to say about his prospects for the rest of the chase.
Yeah, but again, I'm so excited about the chase every year because these are good racetracks for us. Dover, we've had some bad finishes there, but we always run up front. And if we can continue to get the finish like we did today, like we run, I think we could have a shot at it.
So, Bass, in 2007, he came out strong. He won New Hampshire. He was, of course, in the chase and ended up finishing third.
Yeah, he was a factor pretty much all the way.
Who did he finish third?
I can't remember.
God,
Some guy.
Remember.
Some guy.
Do you think he can improve upon that third-place finish this year?
I've always felt that Clint Boyer could be a factor in this chase, and partially I feel that way because almost anybody, with maybe the exception of Matt Kenseth, who just doesn't look like he's running strong enough right now, could be a factor in this chase. And certainly going out and winning that first race, got to give him a lot of confidence. Now he's got a victory under his belt, and he's made a huge climb in the standings. So I think Clint Boyer is a man to be reckoned with. Still hard for me to see him winning the championship, but I think he could be a factor. I think he could do exactly what he did in 2007.
New Hampshire is such a unique track when you look at the rest of the 9 chases, and it's so uniquely good for Clint. I mean,
Yep.
New Hampshire, Richmond, those are Clint Boyer tracks.
Right.
He's run strong at those 2 tracks. I don't see that necessarily translating to the rest of the chase, with the possible exception of Phoenix, maybe Martinsville, but not so much.
I can't ever think of Clint being gangbusters at Martinsville.
Exactly.
Really.
So it's hard for me, as you said, to think of Clint as really being a championship threat. I'm also a little reluctant to say RCR is going to win the championship, although they've been strong and perhaps the strongest overall team throughout the season. I'm not sure that they've got the speed as individuals to necessarily make a
Could
run
be,
at
but
the
I mean, Kevin
championship.
Harvick's been so strong all the way through. It's pretty hard to discount him, especially after he had such a lousy car yesterday and ran 5th. I mean, that's the kind of thing you do to win championships. And I think because things are more even this year, things are more wide open this year, maybe we're back to a scenario where it's the consistency, it's the lack of bad finishes that's going to help you out there. If you look at how many chases were involved in incidents yesterday, you'd have to say, if you can avoid some of this stuff for 10 races, you're going to be in the mix when you get to Miami.
And I will give you that. If it comes down to consistency, I think RCR is going to be perhaps the most consistent team overall. If it comes down to who can get some victories, I think you're looking more at the Joe Gibbs Racing camp.
Clint Boyer's got one already.
Speaking of Joe Gibbs Racing, let's talk about Denny Hamlin. I read somewhere, I don't remember if it was on Twitter or in an article, that, well, Denny Hamlin might be the new Jimmie Johnson since he battled back from adversity and managed to log such a great finish.
We clawed and scratched our way to the front all day to get in position with 80 to go for a win. But, it's a double-edged sword. It made us come in. We had to get fuel and get tires, and it gave us the fuel for the end. But top six is where I wanted to leave this day. And, so first mission accomplished.
Denny Hamlin is showing a toughness and a resiliency, and so is that team, that he has not shown in the past. Still, I don't think one race is enough to say he's conquered all his demons. He's not going to slip up at California like he did last year, or the team's not going to have some kind of fuel pump or other mechanical issue. It's way too early to say that, but certainly if you're Hamlin, you have to be encouraged. And Dover, I think, Cutler, is a huge, huge test for this team. Can they run top 10 at Dover? Something that has been forever since he's done that.
The other thing I can't help but think about, and I know we've beaten this horse to death more than once, but you look at Denny versus Kyle Busch yesterday, and you remember back earlier in the season when Denny Hamlin said, look, each season you expect Kyle Busch to grow up, and he just doesn't. Look at what happened to both of those cars yesterday at New Hampshire. Look how Kyle reacted. Look how Denny reacted.
Yep.
Kyle blows up on the radio, throws Dave Rogers under the bus, unleashes a string of profanity. Denny races back to the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Busch, he ended up in the top 10, so all certainly not lost for him. But he did lose points to his teammate, into Clint, and to Kevin Harvick. So, I think Kyle Busch is going to have to come out, and he's going to have to gain points on days when things aren't going well. Kevin Harvick was equally grumpy yesterday. He finished 5th. So, whether he's got his temper under control, I don't know, but he managed to get the result.
Now, let's talk about some guys who didn't manage to get the result. Jimmie Johnson,
Yep.
Tony Stewart, Matt Kenseth. They finished 23rd, 24th, and 25th. I'm not sure who in what order off the top of my head.
Tony was 24th.
Right.
And I think Jimmie was 25th. So that would make Matt 23rd.
There you go. So are they done?
No, they're not done. I mean, look, it makes it a lot harder. There's no doubt it makes it harder. But if you just, again, look at how many guys were caught up in incidents yesterday, and it says to me, this isn't going to be a chase where everyone gets to run clean and green for 10 races, and some guy's going to knock off 4 wins in 3 seconds. And, I think it's going to be a lot more up and down than that. So if you go down 1 week, yeah, it makes it tough. Tony Stewart rolled the dice. Not sure that was a good call. Look where Denny Hamlin finished when he came in and pitted. A lot of people are like, oh, is he going to stay out? He came back in and pitted, had plenty of fuel. He finished second. So, Tony Stewart can go all tin cup on us and say we went down swinging, but he gave up a lot of points yesterday. That makes it hard. But is he done? Is Jimmie done? No. No, Jimmie's finished 39th in this race and won a championship. No, they're not done.
Now, Matt might be done, but I agree
Matt's
with you.
not fast enough.
That Jimmie, he's not. It's not that he's done. It's that he's never in it.
A 123rd place finish. He's not going to run that good unless something changes.
Clearly, whether or not Jimmie and Tony are done in terms of championship hopes rests on the shoulders of guys like Denny, Kevin, and Clint, the guys at the top right now. If you look at the tracks that are coming up, Dover, you can expect a lot of carnage at Dover. Talladega, obviously, you can expect a lot of carnage there. Places like Phoenix and Martinsville, though they're not going to be wreck fests, you're going to expect some guys to be taken out just because of the close proximity of the racing. So anything can still happen to any of these guys, and nobody has enough of a buffer in order to I mean, let's see, Jimmie Johnson he finished 25th. He's only 92 points down to Denny
look,
Hamlin.
the thing is 25th isn't 35th. 25th isn't 40th. It's not like you blew an engine and finished 39th. So I think, yes, they lost a lot of points yesterday. By no means are those guys done.
Even Tony, who's 124 points down, in 9 races, you don't think he could make up 124 points?
It just makes it harder.
Yeah.
All right, that's been your Rowdy.com Big 3 for today. For Cutler, I'm Bass. We'll be back here tomorrow. The new Rowdy.com has been launched, and we're working through some of the things there.
We're killing bugs. We got our raid out, our ortho out.
Yep.
We're killing those bugs.
Killing those bugs. So stick with us.
Stomping on them.
And we'll be back tomorrow.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.